life update. How do I say this? My daughter, or my life, our family's life has been turned upside down, but it's going to get better. My daughter was diagnosed with an extremely rare autoimmune brain disorder. And I see the camera shaking. I hope it can stabilize. And it's called I'm gonna put it on the screen. This video, first of all, is going to be unedited. So if you're watching, thank you. Yeah, I don't even have time to edit it because I've been in and out the hospital with my daughter. As far as me going back and forth, but I've primarily been at the hospital with my daughter since Memorial Weekend, or that Sunday after Memorial Weekend. My daughter was diagnosed with NMDA receptor encephalitis, and essentially what that means is her brain, her autoimmune system is attacking her brain. This goes back probably about the first week of May. Well, let's go back. It goes back because these are signs. When you see, looking at stuff, hindsight, there were signs. We just didn't know what it was. When I say signs, my daughter last fall, she said, "Mommy, I'm trying to say one word and another word is coming out." And I said, there's something going on with your brain. You need to make an appointment with your doctor. I never truly thought nothing else about it. My daughter was still working, driving, taking care of her children. I thought the appointment was made. I never followed up on it, right? So probably about a month and a half now, she said, "Mommy, that thing is happening again." And I can't even really say I started noticing mood swings, but she would say, like, she really just needed a break. She did mention that she couldn't sleep. She said, "I just haven't been able to go to sleep." And I said, "Well, let me, get the kids or whatnot so that you can get some rest." And then I remember she did my hair, and I kind of time stamp when she did my hair, because I wanted my hair done. I was going to Texas. Then it was my oldest daughter's 30th birthday, and I wanted my hair done for all that. And y'all know I'm doing 75 hard, or I'm doing the second round now, but separate video. And so she did my hair on a Thursday, because on Friday she went and got a pedicure, something she had never done in 3 years, because she has like a long-term COVID issue, where she had like a nerve damage from her waist going down both of her legs. Like if you had on pants and you put on a belt loop, it's from your waist all the way down to her feet, which she's been dealing with. Again, she's been working, going to school, taking care of her children, driving, everything, dancing, everything she's been doing. She just had this nerve pain. So I said all that to say she went and got a pedicure, something she hadn't done in a while. She ran. She gave herself a full body scrub, like an everything shower. And she worked out. And I have one of those vibration plates that you see on TikTok. So, and I got that for me. And I said maybe that can help her too. We can jiggle her nerves, and I don't know, some things will start helping with her nerve pain. So she did all that on a Friday. She called me about 10:30. probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I go to sleep pretty early. She said, Mommy, I'm so sore. I don't know what to do. And I said, you probably just did too much. You're going to have to let all that work through your system. That was my response to her. She took 2 Midol, for cramps. She thought that would help soothe everything. And she took an ibuprofen 600. She was still feeling off, went to the doctor. And by this time, unbeknownst to me, she was only on 2 to 3 hours of sleep because she said she had been sleeping. She gets to the emergency room. They ask her some questions, and they decide, based off what my daughter said, that she has, she's bipolar, and she was suffering from depression. And I said, not my child. So this, what I'm going to speak of now, is extremely important because my daughter is an adult. She didn't have a living will. At the time, didn't say who she wants to speak for her. And that's something that you need to stop right now, pause this video, and pull up a document or try to figure out how to get those things in place. Because I was asking them, stop asking my daughter questions while she's so sleepy. And the lady knew she was sleepy because she said, the nurse, I need you to be woke for these questions right here. So some kind of way, my daughter's answering yes, or she's answering the questions. She said yes, but she's answering like dozing off sleep, answering the questions, dozing off sleep. And I said again, stop asking her questions while she sleep. Some kind of way, they decided my daughter's a 1013, and the 1013 is, I don't know the exact term. I'll find it and put it on the screen. No, I'm not, because I said I wasn't going to edit. So 1013 basically is like a mental, right? So they tried to say she had depression and she was bipolar. She had some manic depression and bipolar. And I'm like, not my child. In the meantime, in between time, and I'm skipping some parts, they told me that she had a MRI that was abnormal, okay? An MRI that was abnormal. That means something's with your brain, right? But y'all was so concerned with the 1013, a bipolar and a depression 1013, that y'all just wanted to skip around the MRI, okay? So y'all pin that. They take my baby to a behavior place, and I'm saying my baby, she's 27, she'll be 28, in next month, but she's still my baby, right? They take her to a behavioral hospital. She was gone for 4 days. I was able to speak with her. She called, 2 to 3 times a day. She said, Mommy, I'm just not feeling good. They keep giving me this medicine. God let me be all the way in Dallas, Texas, and connects with someone who was in charge of all the patients, right? So shout out to Jesus. My God is an awesome God. I talked to this lady. She said, tell me your daughter's story. I run the story down, and I'm like, she's not a manic. She's, she's, and there's nothing wrong with being depressed. If you have mental health issues, go get help. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying I know my child, and that's not what was going on with her. So they take her on a Monday. Thursday, when she is supposed to have visitation, they call and say, oh, you can come pick her up. I go pick my child up, and she has like a shake, and she's holding her head like, and I'm like, I need a list of all the medicine that y'all gave her. And her dad took her back to the hospital, right? He calls me on Sunday, because about this time I'm at Savannah with my other daughter celebrating her birthday, right? So he calls and he says, hey, this MRI is worse than the first one. I was headed home anyway on Sunday. So I go back and they start doing all these tests, because at this point, when I saw my baby, I broke down. The reason why I'm not broke down crying now, because we are now 5 weeks into this. No, we are four weeks into this. So I've cried out. It's compartmentalized, and now we have the diagnosis, and there's a treatment plan. She ready to do all these tests, spinal taps, blood is being sent to Minnesota, Minneapolis, somewhere, because these are very special tests and they're so rare that only a few hospitals do them in the United States. So it comes back as, like I said, the MD, I can't even say it, hold on. It comes back as NMDA receptor encephalitis. And the doctor says to me, I'm glad she got the diagnosis, because now we know what to do, and then there's a treatment plan. He said there's a very famous book called Brain on Fire, and it's about a young girl just like your daughter, who everything was going well, and then she just went downhill to the point where they diagnosed her with psychosis. So as I started doing my research on it, it all mirrors like a mental, disorder, right? At the time that this book was written, or this young lady was diagnosed, she was only the 27th person in the United States that was diagnosed with it. At this present time, it's only about 400 cases, well, 401 if you want to count my baby now. But that young lady was 27, she's now 40. So that's how rare it is. I'm saying it to say this, that's just how rare it is. Two things, there's a treatment plan that's in place that we're working through. 90% of people fully recover. My baby is a part of that 90% in the name of Jesus. The main points I want you to take out this video, out of anything, is to, one, make sure you have things in place to protect your child, that you can speak with them. Like, do that now. Do that today. And two, autoimmune diseases, because I didn't know autoimmune runs in my family, and then it's passed from like woman to woman. I guess it skips generations as well. And like, I knew my aunt died of lupus, but I didn't know lupus was an autoimmune disease. My mom has a situation. I didn't know it was an autoimmune disease. My sister has a situation. I didn't know it was an autoimmune disease, and my first cousin. No one talks about they just say, oh, such and such died of this, or such and such has this. We need to know, is it an autoimmune disease, right? There's something I want you guys to start checking for and checking out. But I'm going to come back to y'all